because like I just felt like it was just insulting. I was like, it wasn't what she said. I guess it was the way she said it.
I got you.
You know, she pretty much just like walked out. I was like, well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like I'm paying a bill for you to tell me something that I already knew, and like you don't even seem to care. Like you just pretty much made an easy check.
Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Chris Jenkins. This podcast is about improving our relationship with nutrition and exercise to achieve success in our fitness journey. And our special guest today, personal trainer and kickboxing coach, Chris Jenkins, will help us do just that by sharing the 3 benefits of including kickboxing into your fitness routine, the response to his doctor telling him he was unhealthy, and why abs are his least favorite muscle group to train. Without further ado, Success Fitness family, please welcome Chris Jenkins to the podcast. What's going on, Chris?
Not much, man. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. This is Chris, actually his actual second time being on the podcast. I had to bring my brother in fitness back. Me and Chris go back, man, 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, maybe even earlier.
That.
Yeah, even earlier. We were just met. What was that? Google Chat? You know what? Not Google Chat. Yeah, Google Plus. Yeah, for those who don't know, Google did have their own social network going on, but that fell by the wayside. And we've always kept in touch. We've done YouTube series, Cheater and all, that we always keep going back and forth about starting back up. And that's on me. Mm-hmm. I text him. I'm like, man, we need to start that back up again. And I never get back with him. So that's on me. That's on me. But Chris has been through so much in regards to this fitness industry, well-known, well-respected, well-versed, powerlifting state champion, has multiple state records. So let everybody know what state you are in, what city you are in, and I'm going to ask you, how's the weather out there?
All right. So, of course, I'm born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, still living here. The weather is a little bipolar at the moment. Last week it was really warm. It actually felt like springtime. Now it's like winter. Like, you know, now we're going outside. You know, we go outside in a shirt and some shorts, and then we turn back around, have to go back in the house and grab a hoodie or something like that and change the clothes. So you got to get up early out here, because you just don't know the weather. The weather is very unpredictable out here.
Yeah, there's that type of weather where it's like just leave the house in a hoodie and some sweats, and you know what? Just hope for the best. And if you get hot, you can always take it off. And then if it gets cold again, then you can put it right back on. It's about like 35 here. I just saw that we're supposed to be getting like 2 to 4 inches of snow in the next couple of days. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. So what motivated you to start your fitness journey, and how did it lead to your current profession? Are you hungry but only have 30 minutes to meal prep? Then download my new e-cookbook, What's a Meal Prep, at successfitnessstore.com. You will get 3 step-by-step written and visual recipes for one high-protein meal that's under 600 calories. I'll help you cook fresh salmon, steam fresh broccoli, and quinoa in under 30 minutes to help you stay on track of your fitness goals. So go to successfitnessstore.com to download your copy today.
Back in 2006, 2007, I picked my cousin up from a party, and I fell asleep behind the wheel and didn't even know it. But she told me I fell asleep. She was like, you went to sleep? I was like, I did. She was like, you got to be kidding me. You didn't realize you was asleep? I was like, oh, man. And that's never happened before. So I went to the doctor. I was like, do I have some kind of sleep apnea or some kind of sleep issue or what it was? Now, mind you, now I'm asking them these questions without knowing, much about fitness, science, whatever. So asked them, what do I need to do about it? And she was like, well, basically, son, looking at your vitals and, looking at all this, son, you just need to work out. And walked out, and of course, she was like, they'll take pay your bill up front. I was like, well, damn, I mean, I knew I needed to work out. Like,
right.
I didn't need to come see you to say it, for you to tell me that.
Right.
But it lit a fire in me, man, because I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I do need to work out. All right. I feel like if I work out, I'd definitely be healthy, but I also look good too. So over time, I started to see results, but then I also fell back into the typical yo-yo, the back and forth. You know, I would lose weight, I would gain it back, I would lose weight, I would gain it back. And finally, the last straw was like, listen, I'm going to nail down my nutrition. I'm really going to get in tune. I'm going to get my nutrition fine-tuned. So, you know, start understanding macros, micronutrients, and all that stuff. And I just happened to be in the gym one day, and this guy, he said he wanted to work out with me because he was so motivated by my success story and my brother's success story. So as I'm training him, you know, I'm doing what I'm thinking I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, come on, give me one more rep. Come on, you got it. And the lady at the desk was like, when you gonna become a personal trainer? I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, you think that's a good idea? And she was like, dude, she was like, I was watching you. She was like, you're going to be great. Mm-hmm. You're going to be great. She was like, you already told me you don't like what you do anyway, which I was working in mental health at that time. I had been in mental health maybe about 5-6 years at the time. So she was like, you already told me you don't like what you do. So go into training, you know, get certified, go into training. So of course it was just on from there. And I've just been able to evolve from that point. Once I got certified, like I went as far as working at 9 Round for like $9 an hour to like now, you know, I don't really want to discuss my salary on the air, but trust me, it's way better than $9.
He get $100,000 per session, everybody. I mean, he's got so many accolades under his name, and he's well worth it. So anybody who wants to train with Chris, $100K is the start. No, I'm just messing.
What the dude say on the Jay-Z CD? They're gonna have to listen to it. I can't say it. I can't repeat it. They're gonna have to listen to it.
We'll just say he's a businessman.
That's right.
But that's dope. That's dope. And you know, when he's talking about, you know, starting off personal training, a lot of times you're so happy to get in the door with somebody, right? Get in the door with somebody, meaning like a gym, a facility, right? And you get in, you're like, okay, you know, I'm just felt like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America when he said, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. Right. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, somebody's, you know, allowed me out of all people to come in. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just telling people just to lift, you know what I mean? Curl, whatever the case may be. Right. And then you start to see the money, right? You start to understand the business of it. And then you kind of move accordingly. You start to understand your value when it's like, okay, let me see how I can really, you know, make my way into this. And especially if it's coming from like your point of view of this isn't something that I set myself out to be. Nowadays, you know, they actually promote personal training, right? And I think they've always promoted it. It's just maybe wasn't on our radar at the time because that was like the last thing, you know, we were thinking about, especially after the doctor told you that, hey, Chris, you're unhealthy. So how did you think about changing your life during that time, as far as even when the doctor said, I know you kind of briefly like went over it, but what was going through your brain, you know, while you were at the doctor's office and the doctor was like, hey, you are unhealthy. What was the thoughts going through your mind once you received that information?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do was tell that lady she could go to hell because, like, I just felt like it was just insulting. I was like, it wasn't what she said. I guess it was the way she said it.
I got you.
You know, she pretty much just like walked out. I was like, well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, I'm paying a bill for you to tell me something that I already knew, and like, you don't even seem to care. Like, you just pretty much made an easy check. Right. But the second thing I thought about is like, okay, well, where am I going to work out? You know, how am I going to fit that? How am I fit that in my schedule? And, you know, I had a friend of mine at the time, you know, she had looked up some 24-hour gyms. And, you know, I told her, I was like, listen, I don't want to go to one of them. I don't need to go to no place like Goals. At the time we had Goals. It's Move Fitness now, but I was like, I don't want to go to Goals and none of them gyms like that because I don't want to see none of them hulking dudes trying to make fun of me because that was the idea that I had. Like that was the stereotype that I had. That like, okay, well, the dudes that's bigger than me and stronger than me, they're gonna make fun of me. When in actuality, it's actually the opposite. It's the complete opposite. Right. Like a lot of them trying to help you because a lot of them they either had their own journey or they just want to help. They want to see you make gains like they making gains. Now it's a few of them now. It's probably about 2-3% that, that don't. Like a lot of them, like it's a few of them that's kind of like some egomaniacs, but for the most part, you'll see a lot of dudes trying to help the overweight, the novice gym member. So from there, once I went from 24-hour gym, like Anytime Fitness, and then I was able to move on and progress from there as I progressed in my weight loss and, strength gains and stuff like that. I was just able to move to different gyms where I felt like I fit.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was the toughest part about that journey? Like during your initial weight loss journey, as far as learning how to get fit, learning your macros and everything like that, what was the toughest part about that whole thing?
Right now, I had a lady just recently ask me, why does demonizing food resonate so well with me? And that was the toughest part, because it's so much information coming from all kind of different channels, all different places.
Right.
They'll tell you that this food is bad. Then you'll have a person over here saying, no, that food is fine, unless, as long as it's in moderation. And you got people over here telling you, oh no, you got to eat for your blood type. Things like that really had me on a roller coaster ride throughout my journey. Because I was like, well, I don't know what to believe. Now there's some study coming out talking about, well, if you eat 3 Fruit Loops, then you'll get cancer and all this other stuff.
Right.
Like it's just so much information. But what I had to do was just understand the basic science, and that's what getting certified and having a bachelor's degree too, that helped, because once you understand the basic science, you're like, okay, this person over here was actually right. You can eat these foods in moderation. All right. You got to understand calories. You got to understand, macronutrients, micronutrients, what foods do what and how they work within the body. But that definitely was the toughest part. And learning that I can't compare myself to other people, because I would see a YouTube star or something like that, and I see that, he benching 315 for 20. I'm like, well, dang, I'm weak. When in actuality, like, I'm not. Like, I don't know. And you know what? Like, no judgment or nothing like that, but like, we don't know what else that person could be doing to be able to do that. They could be eating a whole 2,000-3,000 more calories than you can. They can actually be using drugs, or the recovery process might be a little bit different from them, from us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Like, while we're like just going to work out and then, we'll come home or go to our second job or whatever, these people are taking chiro repair, or, they're sitting in ice baths and all these extra different things to where they have access to, what I mean? And there are a variety of possibilities. Like you said, there's no hate, but at the same time, it makes you center yourself to where it's just like, let me focus on me just a little bit more, because I don't know what that person's going through. I don't know everything that they're doing. So like you said, in all actuality, here I am trying to match 315 20 times. I can get 5, what I'm saying? Here I am thinking I'm weak, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's this comparative thing. Meanwhile, somebody's looking at you like, man, this dude just repping 315 5 reps like it's nothing, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of a test to us to just, want to be better. We're always shooting for, I'm saying, a different type of star. Meanwhile, people are looking at us, and meanwhile, we're looking at somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So I totally get that. Now that you are, like, you're going through your fitness journey, you're learning about your macros and your nutrients and everything like that. Now, did you have a personal trainer or nutritionist during your journey? If not, who or what helped you during that time?
I did not, because I want to say that I couldn't afford it, but I probably could have if I would have, managed my funds a little bit different. I definitely could have, invested some money in that, but, we'll just say that I couldn't afford it, and I did not. And I also want to rewind. One thing I forgot to say about, our last topic was, comparison is the thief of joy. I've ruined a lot of relationships making comparisons. And I learned just last year, I was like, all right, this is the year you are going to stop doing that. We're not comparing no more. Like, forget all that. You can look at that person and say, hey, good job. And then just keep it moving. But as far as, me having a personal trainer, like I did not, but I did have people in the gym that was willing to help me. And I really truly believe that they were willing to help me because I was willing to learn. And I was, I had the drive and the determination and the motivation to look a certain way and be healthy. So I didn't have a trainer. There was this one guy, I still remember his name. His name was Blake. And I was the nutrition part I was still struggling with. And he was like, you gonna be at the gym tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I'll be here. He was like, I'm gonna give you a list of foods that you can eat, that you probably should be consuming every day. And I looked at the list and I'm thinking, this dude gonna be telling me to go to like Whole Foods and Fresh Market and buying this, like buying $40 produce, like a $40 apple or something like that. And he gave me a list of foods and I'm like, you sure this the list? He was like, yeah, what's the list? I was like, I can eat this stuff. He was like, well, that makes it even better. Like,
so there you go.
Consume that. Yeah. So, you should be good to go from here. And, I would just ask mostly I would say the average fit looking person at our gym, because nobody was like, we had maybe one dude that was like ridiculously jacked, but other than that, I would just ask, average person, hey, what should I do? And I just did it. I read magazines, which was kind of a gift and a curse too, because they'll give out some advice, under the assumption that, you're in a certain situation.
Correct.
And a lot of times we're not in that situation. Like at the time, I was just a 9-to-5 person. Like I worked in mental health. So that was what I did. I couldn't do the things that the magazine was saying to do, but I took bits and pieces of it. And then I put it all together. I made my own programs.
Right.
And, that was that. I couldn't afford a trainer. I could afford a gym membership, but that was about it.
Right. I got you. So you're going through your learning phase of, okay, I'm learning how to work out. I'm learning how to program my workout. I'm learning what is there to do, the good and the bad and the ugly. Like you said, I'm reading these magazines, they're telling me to, keep my elbows in and this exercise. And then next thing you know, I'm watching another YouTube video and they're telling me the exact opposite. So you're like, which one is which? Going back to what you were saying earlier about there's so much information. There's so many variations to do things. And that's important too for listeners to learn, is that, I may say something and you may say something. It may be completely different, but it depends on the situation that you're in. You know what I mean? And versus it being like, well, this person said this in his Bible, or this person said this in his Bible. And it's like, yeah, they're both right. You know what I mean? They're both right. And that's under the guise of variations. That's just one thing I don't think people hone in too much on is the possibilities and the perspectives of variations. You know what I mean? You and I work with clients and multiple, just endless amounts of people over these years. And we had to learn that. And it's like, okay, well, she doesn't have to, lean over that far to do a barbell row. You and I may have been trained to go full 90, but this 45-year-old woman who's never done this before, she just started her fitness journey at the top of the year. And it's like, okay, maybe she doesn't have that flexibility, but the exercise or the movement is still being executed, right? Now you've got your certification in personal training, and then you end up going into kickboxing. So how did you go from a personal training, or how did you add kickboxing into your speciality, as I would say?
I have always liked combat sports. I grew up mainly watching Mike Tyson. I was the typical casual, boxing fan.
Gotcha.
I always watched MMA, but there was a YouTube video, so funny. Like we do a lot of things through YouTube, and we've worked together through YouTube, and here we are again talking about YouTube.
Right.
YouTube.
Right.
And there was an MMA fighter, I think his name was Roger Huerta, and he was at a club with his boys, and then he happened to see something out the corner of his eye, and some dude that was my size, like literally just punched this girl in the back of the head. And he goes up to the dude. Now, mind you, now Roger, like he like a lightweight or featherweight or whatever it is. So he like between 130, 155, like soaking wet. So he goes up to the dude and he was like, bro, that was completely wrong. Like, you punched a girl. Like, come on. And then you hit her in the back of the head. And of course, the big dude was like, yeah, what you gonna do about it? And I mean, 3 seconds, he waxes this dude. Like on some straight blood sport Van Damme type stuff.
Right,
like, boom,
right.
boom, 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 like it's over.
Right.
You look down there and the dude is like leaking from the face. And I was like, I do not want that to be me. That can't be me. So I started to look up where I can, take some fighter classes and stuff like that. And I learned some jujitsu from a guy named Lance Adams. And his assistant, his name was Gerard. I forgot Gerard's last name, but learned some jujitsu from there. Okay. And ultimately we started just like mainly doing just boxing. And so they were teaching me all these things, and I was sparring with MMA guys and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I think I like this right here. And then Tiara, my wife, we ended up signing up at 9 rounds, and we said we would do that together leading up to the wedding date. Like we're gonna do kickboxing together, and I really enjoyed it. And it gave me a ton of confidence. And then I went from that to like really, really, really sparring. Like mouthpiece bloody and all kind of stuff. Like So I was teaching boxing. I was learning boxing, but also teaching it and sparring. So then from there, once I stopped working at 9 round to pursue better career opportunity, I still did boxing. Like I didn't like the cardio machines. Like I don't like treadmills, ellipticals, arc trainers. I can tolerate the arc trainer, okay, but the typical cardio machine, like you may or may not catch me on it. I don't care for it, but I really liked the boxing because I didn't feel like it was a workout, but it was a workout. Gotcha. So I went from that, and I would just always continue to do that until I ended up where I'm at now, which is Rockbox Fitness. And, they pretty much made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. They was like, I got you. Here's what we got for you. This is how many classes you can coach. And Rockbox is like, it's weights and it's kickboxing. I'm like, that's all I did before I even got certified. That's all I did. I was like, I'm home. Like I'm right here at home. So they made me an offer. I can't refuse. And just past the sim, I've been there for 2 years. And I'm proud, but also embarrassed to say that's probably the longest job I've held in fitness, because everywhere else was either like having money issues or I just felt like I wasn't being treated right. So that was how I ended up where I am in boxing and kickboxing. I would like to spar a little bit more, but it's just scheduling is just hard. I just wish I can kind of sharpen up on my skills, but if you talk to my family, they'll be like, man, he always in here shadow boxing or doing something. I got you. Young Tyson in the making. Now, what are the 3 benefits from your personal and professional opinion of kickboxing, and how can one put that into their fitness routine this year? What are 3 benefits of it? What a lot of people don't realize is that how much core work you get with boxing, especially when you're throwing a hook and you're turning and you're turning your hips and stuff properly the way you should. It also gives you a sense of empowerment, sense of confidence. Even if you're not sparring anybody, you do some classes at Rockbox or you do some classes at 9 round or something like that. You're like, you know what? I really feel like I can take that joker at work that's been talking all that smack. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, now, children, if you listen to this podcast, please do not do that. But I mean, like I'm gonna get that sucker. Keep eating my food in the refrigerator. I got something for you. Keep taking my lunch. Exactly. But like at the end of the day, like you even talk to some of the like I think the oldest client that we have at Rockbox is about 72 years old. Like went through eye surgery and stuff like that. But she'll tell you like, I really feel like I can beat somebody up doing these classes. She was like, I would never do that, but I feel like if somebody messed with me, I could do that. So you got the core training, the sense of empowerment, and it's fun, okay? And I'm gonna give you a 4th one. It actually builds a lot of muscle, which people don't realize, because when you kicking and punching heavy bags, your shoulders are getting work. When you throw a kick, you really have to chamber that leg and turn your hips a certain way. Now you're getting glute work. Okay.
Right.
Now you're getting a lot of glute work for the ladies out there who want a nice butt. Boom, there you go. All right. For the guys who really want abs and nice shoulders and back muscles and stuff like that, kickboxing will definitely do it, because the bags are so heavy. Like, you really have to put your whole body into it. And, you really get a good sweat. And like I said, sense of empowerment, core training. Like, it just make you feel like we got a saying at Rockbox, like, it gives you a sense of badassery.
Yeah. I like that one. I like that one. Now, you named the 3 benefits. Can you go deeper into who do you feel kickboxing is for and why should they include it? Like we mentioned, like the the shoulders and the glutes and the core work, and the mental aspect. Is there a typical let's say demographic or age range, gender who you see more of? You say, you know what, this is mainly for this crowd?
Anybody that can pretty much walk and talk, I say go for it.
I got you.
Go for it. Always consult with your new with your physician, with your primary care physician before you start something like that. But I would say go for it. All right, if you feel like you can do it, do it, because again, you got all those different benefits. And it's always good to just move your body. Like, you can box, you can walk, you can do Zumba, you can do cycling. At the end of the day, like, movement is always good. Our bodies were meant to move. So whatever you feel like you can do, like, just get up and do it.
I got you. Now, with all that being said, how do you fit working out into your busy schedule? You got, personal training clients, and then you got, your kickboxing classes, either or both, or just strictly just one. You're a family man, wife and kids. Mm-hmm. So how do you fit working out into your routine?
Oh boy. It's just like brushing your teeth, Christian. Like, I wouldn't dare. Now, of course, working out and brushing your teeth is a little different, but it's one of those things that it's part of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, brushing your teeth, showering, eating, all those things are just a part of your life. And once you see the results and once you see how it makes you feel, it's just going to be a part of your life. Like, how they always say, like, you shouldn't use words like diet, and you shouldn't use phrases like, oh, I gotta work out or something like that. Like mm-hmm. everything is a lifestyle. Like, nutrition, what you eating, that's a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Me working out, that is a lifestyle. Like, that's part of who I am and what I do. Now, do I go every day? That's why I was saying you can't really compare the two, because I brush my teeth every day. Trust me, y'all. All right. Sometimes 3 times a day. But if I can fit in 4 days a week, or maybe even 3, I'm satisfied. And sometimes I can only fit in 2 workouts a week. But as long as I get in 2 to 4 a week, I'm good. Now, of course, kickboxing classes, they pay the bills. The PT clients is just supplemental income. So I rearranged my schedule around, what my full-time job is.
Right.
I was like, okay, I got this window open. I can go here, and then I can work this muscle group, or I can just do cardio, or I got time to, do like an hour and a half for boxing, or, maybe Saturday, I got the whole day off. Maybe I can go spar or something like that. Like, you like, if you really want to get it done, you will prioritize it, along with everything else you prioritize. Like, one thing I prioritize is, of course, going to work, brushing your teeth, making sure I eat enough. You'll prioritize anything if it means that much to you. What's the saying? Nobody really has the time. They just make the time.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Right. You make time for what you make time for. Mm-hmm. If you want to do it, you will end up doing it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will,
that's
there's a way. Yeah. So what are your least favorite and favorite muscle groups or exercises to work on?
Bro, I hate abs, man. I
Okay. Okay.
really hate training abs, and
And what
mainly
is it about
because,
abs that you hate? You're getting ready to answer my fault. What is it
yeah.
that you hate about abs?
Well, over the last 2 years, I finally found some ab exercises I can do where I don't have to lay down. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like laying down on the ground doing
Right.
that because
Right. Right.
it
Right.
puts my head back into when I was lazy and just wasn't doing that.
I got you. Because it's easy to just fall asleep on the ground.
Yeah.
It's easy, like,
Yeah.
you're just out
Or
of
either
there.
hop
Yeah.
on your phone or something like that. So I
Yeah.
really do not like ab exercises. Now working closely with a guy who worked in PT, I found ab exercises that, that can work and you can still stay standing. My favorite muscle groups to train are back and legs.
Okay.
Leg days are always good for me. Back days are always good because I really feel like for whatever reason, I just feel bigger on the leg day. I feel bigger on the back day. I don't feel bigger on the chest day, believe it or not. Like
Yeah.
I got one of the biggest chests you want to see, but I just don't feel big on those days. I don't
I
like
got
training
you.
arm. I really don't like just solely training arms either.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Now, the core exercises that you found, or were what's the word? Somebody kind of guided you as far as some
Mm-hmm.
standing core workouts. What are some of those that are tolerable? I'm trying to find the right word, that are tolerable. The standing core exercise that you find, you're like, all right, well, at least I don't have to be on the floor doing them.
Yeah.
But okay, I found some that standing up that'll work.
My favorite one is it's called a Palloff press.
Okay.
A Palloff press, you just you grab a band or if you got a cable or something like that, you just want to step out as far as you can, and you just want to press the handle straight out in front of you. Now it looks like it's
Oh,
working your
okay.
chest, and it looks like it's working
Yeah.
your arms, but it's really
Yeah.
working your core.
You're right, because you're
Um,
fighting against that resistance when
mm-hmm.
you're going the opposite way. I got you. Got you.
Yep.
Got you.
And there's another one called a pot stir. You can do that with a cable or a band. Like you just really want to pretend like you're stirring a big pot of soup. And,
Got
to
you.
the naked eye, you might look at somebody like, what the hell is this guy doing? But it's really working the core because like you said, you're having to fight against that resistance because the band or the cable is going to want to pull you in the opposite direction. And the more you
Right.
fight it, the better.
Right.
And
Right.
the third one, your favorite gadget in the gym, kettlebell around the world. I saw that on the Squat University page on Instagram,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be like and anything anti-rotation. I like. And again, it doesn't look like the person is doing a whole lot, but if you really just take that kettlebell, long arms, keep pushing it
Mm-hmm.
around your waist, like you will really feel your abs start to sink in. Like after like 3 seconds, you be like, man, this burns like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are 3 core exercises that ab exercises that I've enjoyed. That's tolerable, and I can see some results from them.
I got you. I got you. Now you mentioned back and legs being your favorite. Now, for those who don't know, I want people to put some respect on your name for things that I know, right? So when it comes to legs, let everybody know where you are in the state of South Carolina in regards to legs of records that you hold. And in what?
You know what? It's funny that you asked me about the core exercises because all those core exercises that I do, those are more. Those are what's the word? It's better for powerlifters to do those exercises because you want to do anti-rotational stuff and you really want to make sure everything is tight when you squat. But my top squat, my all-time personal best is 777 pounds, and I hold the South Carolina American Powerlifting Federation record for that, and I hold the American Powerlifting Federation record for deadlifts at 705 pounds.
Insane. Insane. It's insane because I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. I always text him the day of his lift. I'm like, man, go kill it, bro. Just seeing that and just watching that whole progression. Like I said, man, we and Chris got history from years. So this is my brother in fitness. And speaking about going a little bit deeper into fitness, I'm kind of surprised about the answer that you gave when I submitted it, but things can change because we all evolve. I was thinking peanut butter, but what's your favorite cheat meal?
What? You ought to know this from the jump. You know I love my pancakes.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
you know
buddy.
I love my pancakes.
Pancakes. Now, what's your favorite way to have them? Would you like them plain, chocolate chip? I know people like to do blueberries. A lot of other just different things. How do you like yours?
Gosh, you're right. There's so many different ways that I like to eat them. Like I do like all the different flavors from IHOP. But if I really had to pick one, it's like you got to eat these the rest of your life. I would go with Oreo.
Really? Okay. I've yet to have any Oreo pancakes.
Oreo. Pillsbury makes a mix, and you can find it at Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at his face. Y'all see his face?
I'm like, I know exactly what aisle that's in.
They got a birthday cake one, a funfetti one. Like it's just like it's so many different ways. Now, what I don't really care for when it comes to pancakes is like maybe like the peach flavors, the strawberry flavors, and stuff like that. Like I got you. And I guess it's mainly like it's so much toppings. Like you can put like maybe like some strawberry syrup on it if you got it. Oh, you know what? The fruity pebble ones have become a favorite of mine too because they actually got a frosting that goes with it.
What?
Yeah,
now, I've seen the fruity pebble syrup.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that the fruity pebble syrup?
I've
seen
that.
Like...
My coach told me that I got to make sure I take like a glucose pill to before I can have it. He was like, man, make sure you take a glucose pill before you eat that. Because that junk gonna shoot your blood sugar up to the ceiling. But I mean, your blood sugar gonna go up when you eat anyway, no matter what you eat. Your blood sugar
I got you.
Up, so.
I got you.
But yeah, definitely pancakes. But I do love my peanut butter though. Like I will have I slap some peanut butter all over some waffles too.
Okay. And that's your pre-workout. Do you end up using that as your pre-workout on days when you know that you're going to lift heavy, whether it's a heavy squat or heavy bench day? Is that something that you take prior to working out, or do you even eat before you work out?
I try not to eat too much before I work out because my stomach can get a little uneasy, especially when you're squatting and you're dead.
Oh,
when you're doing that kind of weight. You're doing that kind of weight. You're like, I better not eat nothing too heavy. I know closer to competition day, we usually have a ritual where, I might get a pizza or we'll go to IHOP and I'll get like 3 orders of pancakes and just throw down the day before the competition and try to refuel myself because the weigh-ins usually I'll do weigh-ins and I'm trying to stay under my weight and once I make weight it's like okay, let's go eat. So pancakes the day before the competition and pancakes or either a burger, something like that.
I got you. Now the opposite spectrum of it, what's your favorite let's say healthy meal once it's like, okay, I have my cheat meals. Now it's Monday, my day one. Let me get right back on track. What's your go-to, your favorite, say like healthy meal combination that
that's what I was trying to think of. I remember you mentioned me like eating a certain thing before I have a heavy lift, but like I swear about oatmeal.
Right.
I swear by oatmeal.
Okay,
oatmeal,
good.
Blueberries mixed with protein powder. Like I pretty much eat that breakfast. Unless I'm pressed for time, I pretty much eat that breakfast like every day, like even on the weekends.
I got you. I remember when you told me about that because I was trying to get more protein in. I'm like, how you get your protein in? And he was like, try it in oatmeal. And I think I just had the wrong measurements. I was rushing. And I think one batch I made, it was too runny. Second batch I made, it was just too clumpy. I'm like, man, this protein is too expensive for me to keep wasting. But eventually I got it. So I got everything that you were saying in that regards. But it's a good option though, to put some protein into your oatmeal far as for those who are looking to find different ways or different avenues to get additional protein into their diet. Now, what lessons? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I give them a quick tip? Like, okay, so that's always been a touchy thing with a lot of my clients and even myself. when I first heard the idea of putting protein powder in the oatmeal, I tried it. And when I tell you it tasted like I just ate a bunch of chalk, I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Right.
What I learned was when you get the scoop, you have to add a little bit at a time and stir. You have to add and stir. You have to add and stir. Yeah. Then it gets mixed in and you don't really taste it, especially if it's like a plain flavor like vanilla or something like that. You don't taste it at all.
Yeah.
So for the newbies out there, just add, stir, slowly just add it. Like what I do, sometimes it take me about, 3 times to add it and, stir, add, stir. And then before you know it, I got my oatmeal and then I add my frozen blueberries at the end. And, I got me a nice healthy breakfast along with some eggs.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the mistakes that I made when I made it too clumpy. I think I just dumped the whole scoop in and didn't. And then it was just all bad. It was just all bad.
Don't cook the powder in there with it.
No, he's right. He's right. I've done that. Yes. He's right.
Woo.
Yeah. It tasted like gum. It tasted like gum, man. I'm like, this is what. Then on top of that, the oatmeal too. I'm like, man, all in the name of fitness. All in the name of fitness. I'm like, no, I just
give me my pancakes back.
Yeah. Rather have pancakes. Now, what lesson did you learn about yourself when you reach your goal that you can give those who may be on the fence about starting their fitness journey this year?
When you reach your goal, you can apply what you learned in fitness to your everyday life. Like, had I attacked my everyday life like I attacked fitness, you probably would be watching me on TV other than YouTube. You would probably be watching me like on TV somewhere because like I'd probably be famous and, went with what I really wanted to do or went with, something that I knew I could stick to. Like I just, if I was as determined to reach my goals, my fitness goals, as I was to do everything else, then, this conversation could be different or it wouldn't be a conversation at all. So just one thing you learn about yourself, you're a lot stronger than you think. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're a lot tougher than you think. And, anybody, you can make time for what you want to make time for. And like anybody can do this, and comparison is the thief of joy.
Right. Exactly. Now, I want to ask you a similar question, but in regards to kickboxing. Now, if somebody's on the fence about kickboxing this year and have been kind of what they call it, kicking the can, kicking the can around, and what do they call it? Kicking the tire. Calling and asking questions and maybe looking at YouTube videos about kickboxing. What can you tell them to get them to start training with you or wherever they're listening to, wherever they're listening at, whatever city they're in, and they're like, okay, I'm kind of on the fence about kickboxing. What can you tell them to hopefully convince them to start kickboxing this year?
You got to have fun with it. You got to have fun and only learn, take in just a little bit at a time. And I still preach that to a lot of people at Rockbox. We got all, it's always, you got to stand a certain way. You got to make sure your hands up. You got to make sure you breathe, and you got to make sure you're not overthinking the combination and stuff like that. Work on 1 or 2 things every class. Like you just got to be intentional. Like you cannot just go in there and just move your body mindlessly. And I even tell that to my PT clients, like, don't just be in here moving your body mindlessly. Like before you get in here, before you even open that door and set foot in here, make sure you say, okay, today only, this is what I'm going to work on. If you want to work on it again tomorrow, let's do that. Let's continue to work on that. So if it's something as simple as keeping your hands up, all right, if it's something as simple as breathing, all right, let's work on that versus trying to, take in all this info at one time, because we've had people quit that gym because it was just too much. And what they thought was, see, what happens is we teach them the basics before their first class.
Gotcha.
We try to teach them the basics. Then what happens is they get in the class and they next to somebody who already know what they're doing. So they're trying to keep up with that person.
Right.
Then they get caught up in the music. They start liking the music, okay? Or either they don't like the music.
Right.
And, they're trying to keep up. The coach And a lot of that's on us. The coach, whoever's on the mic, the coach hyping them up, they'll tell the whole class, try to speed things up, and they think that you're talking to them when in actuality you're not. We talking to the people that know better. We're not talking to you, but they still, believe that because they want to do their best. They want to impress us, even though they don't know what they're doing. So you just have to learn, take it one day at a time, one class at a time. If you're training with like a boxing coach one-on-one, listen. Yep. Just listen to those cues. Just make sure, again, you're working on one thing at a time. If you do get a coach who want you to speed things up and take in all his information all at once, then fire him. Like, I'm going to be straight up with you. Like, get rid of him. Find somebody that's going to be patient enough to just teach you one thing at a time. It's always one meal at a time, one day at a time, one rep at a time. It's all about getting 1% better every day.
There you have it. Chris Jenkins, tell everybody where they can reach you at via online, website, where they can get you as a trainer one-on-one if they're in South Carolina, all of that.
All right. I have a website called vigilantefit.com. You can go there and book sessions. You can also email me at llcj45@hotmail.com. Christian trolled me about my email the other day. It's like Hotmail is so like 1994, and I'm like, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But llcj45@hotmail.com. You can find me on YouTube under Chris the Vigilante. All right. You can also find me on Instagram, Chris.thevigilante_. My powerlifting page is nasty_obese. Some old lady from Rockbox gave me that name, by the way, because she wanted to say another B word, but she couldn't say it. Yeah. She's like, I wanted to say the other B word, so I just used beast as a replacement. So you can find me there. I'm trying to think where else. I'm also on Facebook under Chris Jenkins if you want to add me as a friend. I'm more than willing to help people, try to reach the goals and try to learn the thing. Just try to help people get 1% better every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And there you have it. Today's interview with Chris Jenkins. If you found inspiration in today's podcast and would like to support, then sign up to my weekly newsletter, the Success Fitness Newsletter. You will get weekly notifications when this podcast publishes every Sunday at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 10% off your order at my merch store, successfitnessstore.com. And all that information, including Chris's website, will be in the show notes. So make sure you go to the show notes and click the link in there. That way you can connect with me, connect with Chris, and all that jazz. And this brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. Thank you for listening. And remember this: if any situation is not making you stronger, simply chant more weight, more weight, more weight. Peace out.